Hey everybody, welcome to This Week in Sports. I'm Sean. So this past week there were 3 champions crowned in the sports world. You got the Miami Heat in the NBA, and you got the Chicago Blackhawks in the NHL, and you got the UCLA Bruins in NCAA men's baseball. Alright, so in the NBA, the Miami Heat were crowned the champions. After a long 7-game series, they won Games 6 and 7 to take over and win the championship. Manu Ginobili was named MVP. Oh, I'm sorry, he wasn't. He just played terribly, like as if he played for the Miami Heat in Game 7. But your real MVP was LeBron James, his second MVP, second championship. So it looks like last week when I mentioned about his message inside of his shoes, it looks like he was being confident. You know, hindsight's 20/20. Take it as you will, however you want to take it with his message in his shoes. It could be confidence, it could be arrogance, whichever way you want to look at it. But he is the best player in the game right now, and he took control when he had to, and he helped his team out to get a championship. So in the NHL, the Blackhawks came back. They won the last game in a thriller. In the last 2 minutes, they scored 2 goals to pull ahead and get the lead and win. Patrick Kane was named your Conn Smythe Trophy winner, or which is your playoff MVP. It's for the playoffs as a whole, not just your finals or your championship round MVP. He had 9 goals and 10 assists throughout the playoffs, so he did really good. He was drafted in, I think, 2007. He's really blossoming. He's become a really great player. I think this is his second Stanley Cup trophy that he's won. So you got your Blackhawks winning again for the second time, 2 times in 3 years. Blackhawks are, becoming a little dynasty of their own over there in Chicago. And in your college baseball, you got the UCLA Bruins. They won. They've had a good team over the last handful of years. They've been getting better each year. They've been having pitchers and other position players go in the top round or 2 top picks. Actually, last year they had 2 picks in the top, I think 3 picks of the first round. They've had a really great team, and it's just bound to happen. They win their first ever baseball championship title, just adds on to their leading number of 100, I think 110, 111 championships they've won over the course of their history. UCLA is the most decorated college in NCAA sports with the most championships, and this is their first baseball championship. Hard to believe, but I'm really happy for them. So in other NBA news, we have somewhat of a trade going on. It's not involving a player, but a coach. You have Doc Rivers of the Boston Celtics. He's going to actually head over to the Los Angeles Clippers. This is a trade of some sorts. They worked out a deal where Boston's going to get rid of him. They're not going to have to worry about paying the last, I think, 3 years and $21 million on his contract. And Clippers are going to be able to get him, but the Clippers have to send an unprotected pick to the Boston Celtics, first-round pick. So, what do you guys think about this? You think Boston Celtics are coming out on top? They are losing their coach they've had for 9 years, and he is one of the top guys in their franchise for wins. He's had, I think, over 400 wins in those 9 seasons, and he's took them to playoffs. He's took them to a championship, their first one in almost 20 years. He's done a really good job. They've had the top defense since he's been their coach. So what do you guys think of this move? Do you think the Clippers are coming out ahead? Do you think the Celtics are coming out ahead? Do you think they're just cutting bait and they're going to survive from this? And last but not least, we got some football news. This is terrible, terrible news, and it just shows you, it's kind of like a warning to a lot of people out there. Don't get ahead of yourself. Stay grounded. Try to stay as close to earth as you can. Keep good people around you. We got Aaron Hernandez, formerly of the New England Patriots. He has been released by the Patriots, and shortly after being released by the Patriots, he was arrested and charged with murder. Very sad story. There's so much going on with this story, so much that's untold, but at the same time I have read the timeline of this, and it's almost the plaintiffs, the state of Massachusetts, they almost have like a time-by-time event of what happened, because Aaron Hernandez was caught on so many security cameras, or one of the other aspects is that he left bullet casings in his car in the rental when he turned it in. There's so much stuff going on with this. It makes you wonder what would cause a guy who has everything in front of him, just signs a $40 million contract. What would cause him to do this? If he did do it, I mean, by all means, innocent until proven guilty. But I mean, everything points to the opposite. From everything I've read, I don't know how he's going to get out of it. His defense attorney really calls what the plaintiffs, their story, what they are saying is happening. He's saying it's baseless, and it's like just claims. But from everything I've read, the Plaintiffs have a lot of things that tie together that, you know, equal. I guess you could say it's all circumstantial. I mean, I don't know how you want to look at it, but it just doesn't look good for Aaron Hernandez, for a guy who had so much promise and so much potential, his whole life ahead of him. He's only 23 years old, and now he's possibly going to go to jail for life without parole because of this execution-style killing that he's been linked to. So that's it for this week in sports, guys. As of today, the NBA draft is happening today. I will touch on that next week, and we'll talk about the first few picks of the draft. See what your team did in the draft. See if you like it. See what my team, the Chicago Bulls, do with the 20th pick. I'm really excited about that. I want to see where they're going to go, what kind of way. But we'll talk about that next week. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Click the like, share, subscribe buttons, and let's get this conversation started off right. We'll see you next week.